produce for their own competition. It is less customarily for the farmers to produce for the market, in addition to consumption production, and even less likely for them to produce mainly for the market. 8. Environment 2013. In developing countries, distinguished is made between producing for the local, national, and international markets. Due to this, I select my title to study in my area. Most of the well-known scholars do not concern these challenges of smallholder farmers due to holding few or little land, farming land, are in challenges to produce or to increase their production. Then I'm going to study what's the challenges of this. Let me see a statement of the problem. The condition of agriculture, economic development can be realized if smallholder farmers are linked to high-value markets in the agricultural supply chain. To have adequate agricultural finance, adequate training in agriculture so that they can benefit from the lucrative markets. It means lucrative means market means it is pro profitable market. Profitable markets. Those profitable markets, according to Buzayo Alamu 2014. In recent time, this has been high demand for high-value agricultural products, along with more stringent food safety and quality requirements and the emergency of supply chain integration. All this chain forbade the potential exclusion for 10 predict this predict the potential exclusion of a small scale producer from the growing market. This is the main statement of the problem. Like, this all indicates what then productive. Then all these chain, all these chain predicts the potential exclusion of smallholder producer from the growth of from the growth. Smallholder farmers in Ethiopia face many challenges in accessing financial service, including limited access to financial markets, despite the numerous reforms undertaken by Ethiopian government and the donor community, including financial sector reforms, many rural community, including financial sectors, many rural farmers have remained in poverty with limited capacity. Smallholder farmers in Ethiopia face many challenges in increasing financial service including limited access to financial market, despite the numerous reforms undertaken by the Ethiopian government and the donor community, including financial sector reforms. Many rural farmers have remained in poverty with limited capacity to access safety nets, safety nets like loan to militate against hunger and disease. In generally, generally, the agricultural land or agricultural productivity in the study area was found to be under the serious degradation, the land problem indicated by the development of really and gently areas over the crop farm, yield and communal grazing feeds. It will identify that institutional capacity related constraints, technical gaps, unsuitable agricultural fields, and the attitude of the local farmers are among the major challenges that impede the production and productivity of the farm in the study area. Capital simple, very important, very important one. Okay. Very important one. Second, I see. Then let me discuss about the objective of this study. The general objective of this study is the main is the first one in category one. Let me see. Let me discuss about general objective. The main objective of this study was to determine the challenges of smallholder farmers on advancing in agricultural productivity in the study area of Matu Warada. In case of Matu Warada. The specific one is, or to fulfill this general objective, I try to analyze socio-economic impacts of smallholder farmers on agricultural productivity and try to assess the role of development agents to increase smallholder farmers' agricultural productivity and to assess the main challenges of smallholder farmers in adapting agricultural productivity. Socio-economic impacts or challenges are internal determinants of production and the role of a development agency to increase uh, agricultural production and also the main determinant or the main challenges to increase or the smallholder farmers to increase their productivity is must be measured or assessed. The basic research question or in the in line, the study was trying to answer the following question accordingly. What are the factors which affect agricultural productivity must be answered at the end of this research. The main, what are the main challenges of smallholder farmers adapting agricultural productivity or the main challenges must be listed at the end or measured or studied or defined as end. What are socio-economic impact or internal characteristics of operator of smallholder farmers such as age, education level, that of education level, sex or gender differences are discussed in category at the end of this chapter must be answered. What has socio-economic impact? What is the role of gender? What are what is the impact of education level on agricultural productivity? How to challenge the government or the smallholder farmers? And the other way, I'm going to discuss the significance of the study. The research findings was assessed smallholder farmers and other agricultural entities to improve their agricultural output. After the challenges of smallholder farmers on adapting in agricultural productivity is determined the concerned governmental authority may use it for solution. Also, it was used, it will use, also this will used, would used, this would used, would used, would use as the body of knowledge and complements on what other researcher would have studied, had studied, would have studied on the similar topic. It means this paper would also help other researchers who may intend to make further study on the same subject to build on the finding of the study and also to help provide solution on emerging issues in the area of the study. The study is also critical as it forms the partial fulfillment of the certified a BA degree in economics at university. Scope. The study has conducted to assess and analyze the different challenges of smallholder farmers on adapting in agricultural productivity in Matu Warada. The researcher had collected data from farmers' households and expertise from Matu Warada Agricultural Office, including from development agencies at the Kabale level. As is indicated above, the geographic scope of the study was limited to Matuwarada, Ilubabor zone of Oromia, National Regional State of Ethiopia. As far as limitation of the study was concerned, the researcher was met with difficulties to collect survey questionnaires as well as find documents of secondary data from the agriculture office. Particularly toward an interview with the Warada head of agriculture office was really a challenge because of other routine activity as per the respondents from the Warada agricultural office. Limitation of this study. As any study have a limitation, this study have and has limitation. The following is as the data collection process is not easy because of the following problem. Resources constraints to some extent hinders the efficiency of the study, such as time, finance, material, and human resource. Lack of secondary sources of the data is maybe the limitation. In chapter 2, in chapter 2, I try to discuss 3 points. The first one is it is about literature view. The first one is theoretical literature view. The second one is empirical literature view, and the third one is theoretical concepts. And then from the empirical view, different scholars are studied on the concepts of the Ethiopian and the other Ethiopian regions, especially as the north part of Ethiopia, but not well scholars are studied as Matu Warada. And then I am going to do the new research title on agriculture. But I used I used the research as as the reference as the reference. Chapter 3, description of the study area or methodology. The first, let me describe my study area. Mattu Warada is a Warada in Lubabo zone, Oromia region of Ethiopia. Mattu Warada is bordered by the south by Algae, on west, southwest by Bure, and west by the Kalam zone. On the north by Darimu, on the northeast by Sube, on the east by Yayu, and on the south by Southern Nation Nationality and Peoples Region. The former Matu Warada was separated for Bacho, Bilolopa, and Matu Yuria Waradas and Matu Town. And then, according to National Census reported in 2007, a total population of Matu Warada is 61,954 of whom 30,982 were male and 30,972 were women. None of these populations were urban dwellers. The majority of the inhabitants were Protestants, with 40% of the population reporting the observed. This belief, while 30% of the population says they are Ethiopian Orthodox Christianity and 28.75 were a Muslim. This study is conducted by P 2020 on page 20, 41, 2017 population and housing census of Ethiopia. Results for Oromia region. Volume 1 achieved 2011 as a way back marching. This chapter or this category is research design. The study observed mixed a frequent distribution of the quantitative approaches were employed for summarizing the raw data extracts from household survey questionnaire. The questionnaire formulated carefully to provide answer to the researcher question related to the objective of the study. Sampling method and sampling frame. In this study, two stage simple random sampling from the total population of Matuwarada smallholder farmers. The first stage is sample of Kabbales were selected. There are Gabaguta, Kamise, Tobacha, Tulupe, and Gumaditu. Finally, questionnaires were distributed for the total selected respondents. Process of selecting the sample households shows below diagrammatically. This one. This is a process. Sample size. As you know, as we know, sampling size is very important, or limiting the sampling size is very important in the research. And this in this I try to use Gimane formula, simplified formula Gimane 1967 in order to determine the required sample size at 90%, 95% confidence level, degree of validity of 0.5, level of precision or sampling error. The range in which the true value of this population is estimated to be, thus the formula is given as n, where n is sampling size, n capital is the total population of respondent. I get 300, I get n over 1 plus n into e squared. My n or population is 3,449 smallholder farmers is selected average of Matuwarada. That means first purposefully I select the Kabbalists to fulfill or to answer those can easily answer my research objectives. And from this, the farmers or the total farmers households are smaller older farmer households are about 3,449 smallholder farmers in selected. As is by formula. From this, from this, from Gabaguda, there was 400 smallholder farmers. From Kamise, 600. From Tobacha, 600. Geneti, 500. Homaditu, 656. Tulupe, 498 smallholder farmers are selected, are populated. And then from this, since it is difficult to study for 3,249, I'm going to select the n or sample size from this population, and I get 356 by using the Mane formula, and accordingly 300 and then for all I use proportional formula to select household from this population, and then Gabaguda is 43, Kamse is 66, Okocha is 66, Geneti is 55, Omaditu is 72, and Tulupe is 54. This is my sampling size. Sample size. The data source and selecting technique. Data selecting technique. Okay. Data source and data source technique. In this research, both qualitative and quantitative type of data were used. Regarding to resource data, both primary and secondary data were used. Both primary, according to source, both primary and secondary data were used. Look, were used in generally value and relevant data. According to this, the primary data primary data is collected through questionnaire, and for the secondary data for secondary data for secondary regarding to the secondary source data sources, the study result is available and relevant published and unpublished documents such as journal, article, research reports, books, and electrical documents were obtained necessary information about the problem under the study area. The researcher distributed questionnaire to the respective sample which enabled the respondent to answer the question at the relevant time. Definition of the variable. In this research, agricultural productivity of crop from smallholder farmers in Matu Warada was dependent. Agricultural production of crop from smallholder farmers in Matu Warada was dependent variable, which different challenges like lack of skill, lack of finance, problem of land fertility, lack of support from development agency, and problem of climate change were the major independent variable. And there is another challenges like farmers' household characteristics or internal determinants like gender, age, education status, and so on. Crop characteristics like duration to give product, purpose of crop, needs for fertilizer, Demands of production and etc. are another challenge, and external natural environment, weather condition, forest eroded land, forest eroded land, wild animals being far from the center of a capital were considered as independent variables. Method of data analysis. The data analysis had done after all relevant data was gathered from the respondent. Qualitative data was collected entire and was coded into the computer and analyzed by using SPSS or social package or social uh, statistical package of social science version 2020.0. Statistical software either related to inconsistency of the data checked and correlated during data is conclusion. Conclusion. The result of my the result of in chapter 4 I try to put the results in percent statistical description that in percent differences can show and so on. And the total small orders of conclusion. Chapter 5. The smallholder farmers of the city area are practice traditional method of farming system for a long period of time, and what is observed today is similar. Okay. The smallholder farmers depending have been depending on mixed farming system in producing crop and livestock. Railing study area was under one agroecological zone, agricultural practice, and production mainly attached to these two differences. The low agricultural production and the productivity in the study area was being due to the challenges faced the smallholder farmers faced with the agricultural practice. The low agricultural production and productivity is the underlying cause of household food insecurity situation in the study area really housed throughout the year. Smallholder farmers smallholder farmers face problems on the side, which is mainly due to lack the household that exert increasing pressure and demand for farmland because the shortage of available cultivated land, especially for the newly established household. According to the survey result, the majority of the respondents smallholder farmers owned less than 1 hectare of the land for agricultural productivity. This clearly shows the imbalance of shortage of the farmland, which is a major source of income and sustenance, is a short supply related to the large family size of the household. This is one of the main challenges. Having small, less than 1 hectare of farmland for agricultural activity is a challenge. For increasing family size, besides the gradual loss of farmland productivity, particularly depletion of the soil fertility, and hence the low yield and low productivity of agricultural production aggregate the problem of household food insecurity. The study related that the challenges faced smallholder farmers' agricultural practice was attended with lack of access to the modern agricultural technologies, lack of access to rural infrastructure that access smallholder farmers to input-output market and lack access to the financial institution and provide the credit service. According to the study result, the majority constraints that enable smallholder farmers access to modern agricultural technology are low income of smallholder farmers, lack of adequate credit service, fragmented farmland owned by smallholder farmers, lack of information about new technology among smallholder farmers, and low level interest to accept and adapt modern technologies. In the study area, some sampled smallholder farmers have access to credit, while others do not during agricultural practice. According to the study result, the majority of smallholder farmers in the study area did not have access to credit. The main source of the credit service smallholder. According to the in the study, the main facing farming in local taking credit service. Okay. Our financial institutions generally were attended with a high interest rate. Comfortable payment credit and recommendation. According to the finding of the study, following issues are forwarded as recommendation to improve the agricultural practice of the smallholder farmers of the study area. The cause of the poor agricultural practice or exercise is the study area are mainly related with the traditional method of land farmland cultivation, lack of access to the modern agricultural technology, low level of education among the smallholder farmers, poor ambition for rural infrastructure such as rural roads, market accessibility for agricultural output, and inadequate credit service. Accordingly, the following indicates remarks are forwarded that were targeted to improve the current agricultural practice of smallholder farmers in the study area so as to improve the agricultural production and the productivity for agricultural practice is the main factor in the study area. Therefore, improving the traditional method of farmland cultivation, improving the use of crop variety and agricultural input, and promoting the smallholder irrigation should be taken into consideration by the concerned bodies at different levels and the households themselves. It was found that total farmland holding significantly affect the agricultural production productivity in the study area. The result shows that the agricultural productivity of smallholder farmers, which large farmland holding is better and is more likely to be adopting modern agricultural technology and farming goods. Therefore, there was the one agricultural that the frequency of